We stayed locked down in the ministry until about 1 o'clock when we made our way back to the villa. Now these pictures are being taken from the roof of the villa. You're looking into the parking lot of the Palais de Nation where the president's executive offices are, and you see the soldiers gathering so that they can go out into the street and begin to do a little bit of crowd control. There you see Mr. Camera at the door of the wall to Villa number 23. Sporadic gunfire was occurring throughout the day and throughout the villa. And the soldiers were beginning to amass in response to that and go out into the street and begin to effect some crowd control. There was actually a coup d'etat underway. That's one of the president's horses there. And you can see the soldiers now running to the personnel carriers and organizing themselves to go out into the street. At this time, the army was composed of three factions. One, the faction that was interested in having better living conditions and an increased pay. Two, the faction that all wanted to see President Lansana Conte overthrown. And three, the faction that was loyal to President Lansana Conte. The coup d'etat ultimately failed because there was no leader who came forward, and because the first two groups couldn't reach any agreement on what was the right way to proceed and just how mutual their concerns were. But in the end, you'll see that did not stop this from being a very scary situation. We didn't know it at the time, but that gunfire would continue for about 3 days. And now this is Friday night. This is the picture of the Palais de Nation on fire directly across the street from our villa. This film is being taken from the roof of Villa number 23 by Leroy Jones. And you can see that this facility has been hit directly by 3 incendiary mortar shells, and it will, within 3 hours, be totally burned to the ground. We were told that the president was, in fact, in the building at the time. However, he was down in the bomb shelter area and was able to get out. I guess the entrance is about 2 city blocks away from the actual superstructure itself. And the firefighting continued throughout the night around the Palais de Nation, right outside our door. At this point, the heat is getting a little intense even across the street, so we're ready to go. The inside of the Palais de Nation was melted to ashes and twisted steel. This fire went on for about 3 or 4 hours. This is part of the building has fallen on an automobile, and you'll see a picture of what the automobile looked like afterwards. Now you see the fire department from the port coming in, and they're going to try to do a little bit of remediation. Footage of the interior of Villa number 23. That's our community fruit bowl, which was filled, but after we had gone through that siege, we were lucky to see that one little watermelon and that pineapple in there. This is the vestibule of Villa 23. All right, this is the next day. This is the destruction on the Palais de Nation. That is where the first incendiary mortar shell hit. You can see the building is still smoking from the fire that wasn't quite out. And gunfire was continuing, although most of it was a matter of crowd control by this point, but that's where most of the people died, in the gun control and the crowd control gunfire. See the mangoes on the mango trees. And that's the gate that the tank ran through the night before. Just smashed down the gate. I guess they wanted to see if the tank could do it, and obviously it did it. Now you see the people who the government had actually been permitting to come into the Palais de Nation to take out and salvage whatever they could. But what would happen is the people would get in there, they'd start fighting over things, and the soldiers would start firing to get them out of the Palais. And that's why they're running. About 20 minutes later, they'd permit them to file back in, and within 5 or 10 minutes, the same scene would repeat itself over and over again. But you'll see footage of people taking things out everywhere, everything from refrigerators, tables and chairs, pictures to copying machines. There you see one of those lighted pictures of President Lansana Conte making its way down the street. It probably got stopped at the corner by a soldier, and the person was probably relieved of his goods. That is the Palais de Nation, certainly the most beautiful building in Guinea, and in some people's minds, one of the most beautiful buildings in the all of West Africa. That's it on the day after. Again, that's a picture of what the tank did, and there you see people scattering as the soldiers move them on away from the Palais de Nation. There you see a man pushing a copier, I guess two copiers. How they got him down those steps and out that building, I'll never know, but you see him moving along. And this is our dinner arriving at the end of the day's activity. And this is the inside of the kitchen with the guardian there in the yellow kaftan and the food service helpers, as well as the head of the villa. And this is the next day, and you can see that the people are beginning now to come in from all parts of the city and indeed from all parts of the country to survey the destruction that was brought on the Palais de Nation. People were very, very upset about this. They saw it as a senseless destruction, and indeed it was. There's no way to justify that. And this went on for 3 days that we know of while we were there, getting more and more people each day. You can see our quiet residential street is beginning to pick up in activity, and this will continue until we leave. And as you can see, people standing there talking about the destruction and how pointless it seemed to be. And this is a picture of El Haj Conte. During the disturbance, we had an armed soldier staying with us inside Villa number 23 for around the clock, 24 hours. This is Kaba's brother-in-law, who was with the Guinean equivalent of the Special Forces, and he was one of the soldiers who stayed with us during the disturbance.